You are halfway through a perfectly good sandwich when you look down and see it, a fuzzy green patch on the crust. You ate mold. If you have a healthy immune system, there is no need to panic. Calling poison control or rushing to the emergency room is completely unnecessary for an accidental bite. The biological machinery in your gut is built for this. Your stomach is a reservoir of highly corrosive hydrochloric acid. The moment those stray mold spores arrive, they are engulfed and dissolved in a harsh, acidic bath before they can do any harm. Your digestive system wins the battle against a single bite with ease. The actual danger begins when you look at the rest of that loaf and decide to tear off the green part so you can eat the remaining slices. That visible patch of green or white fuzz on the crust is only a fraction of the organism. Those are the sporangia, the reproductive tips of the mold that reach the surface to release spores into the air. To understand what you're dealing with, you have to look beneath the crust. Fungi survive by sending out a vast microscopic root system called hyphae to absorb nutrients. Sandwich bread is rich in moisture and carbohydrates, acting like an open highway. These hyphal roots travel rapidly through the starchy infrastructure of the loaf. You can safely cut mold off a dense block of cheddar cheese because its low water content creates a physical barrier. But bread lacks that defense entirely. It is a soft, highly porous sponge. Within hours of a spore landing, these roots extend centimeters deep into slices that appear perfectly clean to the naked eye. This means the old trick of slicing an inch around the fuzzy spot is completely useless. You are discarding the reproductive tips while leaving a massive, invisible biological network completely intact. By the time you see a spot of mold on the surface, the structural integrity of that slice and adjacent ones in the bag is completely compromised. The root network itself creates an even deeper problem. As the mold metabolizes the bread, it secretes toxic chemical byproducts known as mycotoxins. A common kitchen myth is that you can drop a questionable slice into the toaster. The logic seems sound. Heat kills bacteria, so it should sterilize the bread. This chart illustrates why that theory fails. A standard kitchen toaster reaches a maximum surface temperature of around 200 degrees Celsius. Mycotoxins are incredibly heat stable. They do not begin to degrade until they are exposed to temperatures well over 250 degrees for sustained periods. They survive your toaster easily. Even if you decide not to eat it, simply untwisting the tie and opening the plastic bag to inspect the loaf creates a secondary hazard. Handling the bag aerosolizes tens of thousands of invisible mold spores into your kitchen air. Between the heat-resistant mycotoxins baked into the crumb and the airborne spores waiting at the seal, a moldy loaf becomes a dual chemical and respiratory threat that cannot be cooked away. A single accidental exposure to these toxins will likely just cause mild nausea. The severe danger lies in the chronic habit of salvaging and eating moldy food repeatedly over a lifetime. To understand the long-term mechanics, look at this flowchart mapping the effects of aflatoxin, a common and highly dangerous mycotoxin. When it enters the body, the liver attempts to process it, biotransforming the aflatoxin into a highly reactive molecule called aflatoxin 8,9 epoxide. Following the pathway to the right, you can see that this epoxide binds directly to your DNA. This microscopic structural damage interrupts normal cellular replication and drives the development of hepatocellular carcinoma, a severe form of liver cancer. The data on this biological mechanism is so robust that the International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies these toxins as potent natural carcinogens. Trimming away the mold to save a few dollars on groceries seems frugal in the moment. Over years, that routine exposes your liver to a steady drip of carcinogenic compounds. The strict, science-backed protocol for dealing with moldy bread is simple disposal. Do not bring the bag to your face to sniff it. Place the entire package inside a second, heavy-duty trash bag, seal it tightly, and remove it from your house. To extend the life of your next loaf, wrap the fresh bread loosely in a paper towel and store it inside a brown paper bag at room temperature. This allows vapor to exchange and wicks away the trapped moisture that mold relies on to germinate. If you want absolute certainty, slice the fresh bread and place it directly into the freezer. This drops the ambient temperature well below the biological threshold required for fungi to grow, halting the process entirely. A single accidental bite of mold just requires a glass of water and a deep breath, but a visible spot of green in the bag demands the uncompromising disposal of the entire loaf.